Hello and welcome to the Pup Mommy, where I share with you dog owners and wannabe dog owners and even experienced dog owners my close to 35 years of hands-on experience of owning, loving, and caring for dogs, so that I can help you solve your pup issues when you think, am I the only one with this problem? Now, in this video, I'm going to be touching on a subject people don't necessarily like to think about, but is oh so very important. What happens to your dog if something happens to you? So let's get started, and if you like this video, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the like button. I'm going to divide the video into two parts and leave timestamps in the description so that you can follow along. The first part of the video deals with what you can do about care for your pup on a temporary basis, while the second part deals with a more permanent solution if someone dies or has to move into a care facility. In other words, do you have a plan that includes having your dog in your will or your estate plan? So here's part one. What is your game plan should you become unexpectedly ill, injured, or need rehab? Whether this is for a few days or a few months or just a few weeks, what happens to your pup? Who's going to take care of it in your absence? And you really have to think about these things, especially if you're single like I am, or even a couple or a family. Should you or someone in your family have an accident or become ill where all the focus is on getting them better and tending to the injury or illness, whether you'll be away from home or in home but disabled, is there someone you trust, a friend, a family member, who will be able to care for your pup while you're getting better? And if not, what's your game plan? Well, here are a couple of suggestions. For example, number one, contact a rescue group and speak to the person or persons in charge of that rescue, not a volunteer, not a foster. And if you're wondering, well, how do I find these rescues? Ask your vet, or even a Petco, PetSmart, where they always have dog adoption weekends and dog events. They probably have a list of rescues that may be able to help you out. And again, it is important that when you contact the rescue, you do speak to someone in charge, not just a volunteer or a foster, as I said earlier. Every legitimate rescue is usually a 501c nonprofit, so therefore they have management and they have a board of directors. You have to speak directly to these senior people and explain your potential situation and ask if they would be willing to take care of your pup temporarily until you're better. Now, some may say no. They may decline because they simply don't have the resources, the people, or too many dogs. But others may be very appreciative that you are taking this step and that they'd be willing to help you out. You should get everything in writing as to expectations from both sides. Will you be covering food and vet costs for your pup? Where will your pup stay? And if you are short of funds, will they take a donation of food or some other form of remuneration? Now, another option, again, depending on your financial situation, is a boarding kennel. If that is an option for you, now is the time to pay a visit to some of these boarding facilities so you're not scrambling at the last minute. And a third option is to also get in touch with the breeder, if possible, and or the shelter where you got your pup. Same drill. Will they help? Get it in writing. Now, part two. What happens to your pup if you die or have to permanently move to a care facility that does not allow pets? And again, this is not for little old ladies and gentlemen. This can happen to any one of us. When I think about this question, I always think about 9/11 and the people who left work that morning and never returned. Now, one can also read about tragedies almost every day in the news online, in social media, where a dog is abandoned or it's thrown out and becomes a stray because there's no one to care for it or wants to care for it. So here's the million-dollar question. Is your dog in your will? Do you have or have you considered a pet trust? The document I'm showing you is a pet trust that I set up with my estate planning attorney. It specifically lays out what I want to happen to my pups in case of my illness or demise. It states where the pups will go and leaves specific instructions as to their care, along with funding for their care until they are adopted, if they are of adoptable age, or funding for their care if they are not adoptable, until their death. If you have pups that can't be separated from each other, this can also be written into the document as well, that they must be adopted together. Now, as I mentioned earlier, with contacting rescues, if you're temporarily disabled, or if there is something else that you want to discuss with them, and as before, get it in writing, with signatures and witnesses. And if you happen to have family members or friends who may roll their eyes and scoff at some of these suggestions, remember it is your dog who has given you its love, its loyalty, and its trust, whether for 4 months, 4 years, or 14 years. So that's it for this video. All comments are welcome. If you have any questions or need any help with pup issues or pup problems, there's very little I haven't encountered in all these years of owning dogs. I leave my contact information in the description section. And if you have even questions as to which is the right pup for you and your family, I'd be more than happy to help you with that as well. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and bye for now.